Hi, my name is Robert. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. In this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about oil changes. Specifically, how often you should change the oil in your vehicle. Now, back in the day when I started driving, somewhere around 1980, if a car lasted 100,000 miles, that was basically all that was expected of it. Not too many vehicles could get mileage on it more than that without having major repairs. It was very common practice to change your oil every 3,000 miles, mainly because the way the engines were designed and the oil was formulated, it was rare that you see in a car get much more mileage than that before it wore out. In the 80s, that began to change, and auto manufacturers began to design engines to last a lot longer and be lubricated better, so the whole situation and game changed. My vehicle was built in 1995, as you can see, the recommended extreme oil change intervals are at 5,000 miles. And if you do a lot of highway driving or suburban driving, the oil change interval is recommended at 10,000 miles. So, if you have a car that's not turbo, and it's one of the types that I have, you can actually go 10,000 miles between oil changes. In the maintenance schedule for my sister's 2005 Honda Accord, under normal use, it says that the oil should be changed every 10,000 miles or 1 year, whichever comes first. The maintenance schedule for severe conditions requires that the oils change every 5,000 miles. So in both of these conditions, it is not recommending any oil changes within 5,000 miles. In the 6-cylinder Accords, it recommends oil changes every 7,500 miles under normal conditions. And in the 6-cylinder Accords, it recommends every 3,500 miles under severe conditions. Now, in my mother-in-law's vehicle, it has a scheduled maintenance for oil changes, and it has a intelligent oil life monitor system. Basically, they have programmed the car to give you a notification as to when you should have your oil changed. Now, this vehicle has been programmed to monitor the style of driving that you do. If you're driving mostly city or highway, the speeds, your aggressiveness, and things like that. And based on your style of driving and conditions, it will alert you as to when the oil life has probably been depleted to approximately 15% remaining. Now, in an extreme condition, you're doing maximum load or towing, you're doing extreme hot or cold operation, it's recommending the oil be changed somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 miles. In severe conditions, between 5,000 and 7,500 miles. And in normal conditions, between 7,500 and 10,000 miles. Again, your car will sense the driving style that you have, and it will alert you through the dash of the oil life monitoring system to let you know when you should get your oil changed. Now, knowing this information, you can use your own common sense and have your oil changed as often as you feel like it's needed. The only time I recommend you deviating from what's in the owner's manual is if you actually send your oil in to a company to do an oil analysis test. And in these oil analysis tests, they could tell you what kind of material in your engine is wearing, if the engine is running clean, and they can also test the oil and check the service pack that comes in that oil and tell you how much of that service pack is actually left in the oil. An example of that is one time I drove 5,700 miles with my vehicle after running synthetic oil on its third oil change. I sent that sample in and had a company called Blackstone Labs test the oil and tell me if it still had the service pack in the oil and if I could extend my oil changes. Well, at 5,700 miles, my oil still had 53% of the service pack left. So they recommended I go to 8,000 mile change intervals and have it tested again. So it's possible that I could go 10,000 miles without any issues in changing the oil in my car, and the oil still have the cleaning agents and the lubricant agents in it to properly keep my engine cleaned and maintained. Now, there's a myth going around that if your engine is running good and clean, it will actually look clean on the oil dipstick. Well, that's really a myth, because every time you start your car, every time you drive it somewhere, your car has a lot of tiny explosions. Those combustion explosions actually are dirtying the oil and contaminating the inside of the engine. Every time you start your car, if you have a 4-cylinder engine, every minute that your car is running is actually having around 3,400 explosions. If you have a V8, it's actually having around 6,400 tiny explosions. Well, those explosions are creating contamination inside the engine, and it's the oil's purpose and responsibility to clean that dirt and contamination out, and that will surely dirty your oil. Now, my oil currently has about 8,000 miles on it, so when I pull the dipstick out, there's just a real thin layer of oil on the dipstick, and that's how it looks. It's a little dirty, but it's not bad. And after 8,000 miles, you would expect it to be darker than that. Well, if I pull a drain plug and drain it into a drain pan, that oil will look black as coal. So there you have it. You want to use the proper oil. You want to get it changed as often as necessary. And if you want to go the extra step, you can actually send a sample of your oil into a laboratory to have it tested. If you send it in to have it tested, they'll let you know how often you need to change it under the conditions that you currently drove with that oil change cycle. So if you have any questions, go ahead and post it. I hope this helps.